Welcome back to All Things Plastics, where we go beneath the surface of beauty, transformation, and the stories behind the surgery. Today's guest is living proof that life doesn't stop after 50. In fact, sometimes that's exactly where it begins. Joining us all the way from Sacramento, California, is a 53-year-old woman who has gone through an incredible transformation. She has lost over 150 pounds. She got a full body lift, breast surgery, countless skin treatments, and most recently, a facelift and neck lift just a few months ago that went viral. But this journey isn't just about surgery, it's about reinvention. After losing her father, she stepped away from her corporate career, picked up content creation as a hobby, and has built a powerful online community of women sharing their stories. She got married at 49, she became a content creator at 53, and she's just getting started. Let's welcome Dana to the show.
Hello.
Welcome, Dana. I'm so excited to share your story with our listeners because it is truly incredible.
Thank you. I know when you read through all those things, I'm like, oh God, I have done a lot.
When you put it all together.
Yeah.
Now let's start off. Where were you born? Where did you grow up? And where are you from?
Sure. I am from the Sacramento, California area, Northern California. Pretty much born and raised here. Went off to college in California, came back. So not pretty much, even though I hate the heat, I have family and friends here, so stayed here in Sacramento area.
Now, we know that you're a content creator right now, but what was your professional background before, and when did you make this major shift?
Most of my career was working as a recruiter, and I basically found people jobs for a living, and that was awesome. I loved it. It was just sort of an intense job because it was a lot of, meeting goals, and you've got to hire this many people, and so it was kind of an intense job, but I really loved just the interaction with people. I used to call it my spidey sense. I definitely think I'm an empath and I can read people. And so I would interview people and I would just my little thing would say, no, not a good fit. And so I got to use some of those skills too. So I really loved it. But then, when I had the opportunity to kind of take a break, it was wonderful. I spent a year just kind of blah, just doing nothing. And then after about a year, all of a sudden my mind was all right, what's next? I want to utilize the parts of me that I enjoy, the creativity, the community aspect. So I just started watching social media and then started following some people that I liked. And then I saw my cousin start to make some videos and I thought, well, shoot, I might as well just try it. So I just started.
That's phenomenal because, starting social media and the creative journey and putting yourself online is scary. Whether you're young, you're older, you're in between, it is so scary. And take us on the journey of how it felt posting your first video online, stepping into the beauty space. Are people going to accept me? Are they going to be what is this 50-year-old doing on social media? How did you feel?
I don't know. I don't know if I just have confidence or what, but I guess, it's horrible. I started watching other people's videos and I was looking at some of these people and the quality of their videos and just, I guess, I don't know.
You could do it better, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. That is what we all think. That is literally the truth. No shame in saying that. If these people with horrible quality videos who aren't even trying, imagine what I can do when you actually put in some effort.
I know. And so I just was okay, if this lady can do it, I can do it. And I remember filming my first video. I think it was about my outfit at the time. I definitely feel it's a good year that I was just I want to call it my internship because it was kind of cringe. It was kind of, I was
we all go through it.
Out. Yeah. Yes. And honestly, I think I was trying to find my role in the space. But I think the procedure thing and the fact that I am such an open book kind of person, just me literally no makeup on, sitting on my bed, filming myself and just being vulnerable about how I was feeling at the time is really what resonated.
I feel you are such a young soul. Yes, you may be 53, but you are gorgeous. Your skin is amazing. Your hair, you're just a young soul. I feel that really is what really draws people in. But also, there's a lot of 18 and 20-year-olds online and 30-year-olds in their mommy eras. You being 50, taking the brave step, stepping into social media and look, I'm going to do this. I'm going to build an audience. I feel that you went viral because other 40, 50, 60-year-olds looked at you and was if Dana could do it, I could definitely do it. Or look, Dana's exactly like me. Oh my gosh. Let me watch her journey, kind of living through you.
Yeah, it's been so cool. I mean, literally, I was counting my DMs. I have 100 DMs right now from women that have reached out to me because a lot of people aren't comfortable sharing their stories. But I'll share mine and they'll send me videos of their recovery or their, what they feel might have gone wrong. And so I literally I've spent especially when things really took off, I literally was spending 2 to 3 hours a day just responding to people. And my husband's like, what the heck's going on? I'm like, I don't know. I'm just going with it. And so, but literally every day I talk to people, probably 20 to 30 people every day.
And
that
we're in the era. I mean, I feel like people have always loved to watch other people. I love it. Like, I don't have kids, but I love watching a day in the life with a mom of two. Like, it's so interesting to me, especially when it's something different than your everyday, right?
Right. Yeah. Sure.
That's so amazing. You started off, what was kind of your niche? You said it was kind of like beauty try-on hauls before this whole plastic surgery viralness.
Yeah, it was my hair, did just like makeup beauty for mature skin or fair skin. I focused sort of on SPF, things like that, because I actually have the melanoma cancer gene, and I'm hyper vigilant about SPF. And then, some clothing hauls. I was kind of like all over the place. I had shared some pictures from a bad experience I had with lip filler.
Okay.
And some things like that. But yeah, I think going into having this facelift that I had 3 months ago, I was like, I want to film this and kind of like share my experience. And I don't think that's happened very often.
No, definitely not. I mean, we see the come with me to get a BBL in Miami, come with me to get a breast dog, but we don't see, someone your age like, okay, come with me to get a full on face and neck lift. Let's see what the journey entails.
And it was a lot different than I thought.
Yes. Now, were you kind of scared or hesitant to start posting your surgery journey? Or were you like, no, I'm already doing this. I'm going to showcase my life and I'm going to showcase this surgery?
Yeah. I don't know if I felt like there was a void, or I definitely know now there's a void of information out there. People are just clamoring to hear more like authentic stories. Consultations, there's only so much you can discuss. And I feel like once I was getting out of surgery, I'm like, God, this is so much more than I thought. Like, holy moly. Probably somewhat stupidly, but I was having these emotional, what did I do?
Up and downs.
Up and downs. And like, I just somewhat stupidly captured everything. And I think when I was kind of like in those moments of distress or anger or whatever, people really were like
drawn to what your emotional state was.
Yeah. And I had literally been focusing on TikTok and not Instagram. I had maybe 400 followers when I started, and I'm now at like almost 17,000.
And how fast did you grow? You went from 4,000 followers to 17 in how much time?
400
to
17,000 in like the last 4 months.
That is insane.
And it grows all the time. Like I'll look to every day I get another 1,000 or so. Like it's just keeps going.
Oh my gosh. And we're going to dive into the viral video and all the comments. Now, let's start off at the beginning of your plastic surgery. We'll kind of summarize for them. You stated that you had a breast lift back in the day. You said a size H?
Yes. I had a reduction. Needed it.
You had a reduction, not a lift. You had a reduction. And then 10 years later, you stated that you kind of gained some weight. You were fluctuating up and down with your weight. And you took the initiative to lose 150 pounds.
Yeah, I got tired of it.
That's a lot. So you lost 150 pounds. How did you even do that? Because that is a lot.
Yeah, I did it old school, gastric bypass. Because nowadays it's Ozempic.
Yep.
Back in the day, it was gastric bypass.
Yes.
And so it's funny when everyone's talking about losing weight, like everyone I think assumes that I was taking a weight loss drug. I'm like, no, I did surgery. I went old school. It was amazing for me. It took away the hunger, like the mental part of it, of obsessing over food. It's like shocking to me that I lost that much weight and I kept it off for as long as I have.
After you lost that weight, obviously you have a lot of loose skin. You went and got a one body lift.
Yes. Basically, like it's like the mommy makeover, I guess, but I never was a mom. So,
but all the way around.
Yes.
It wasn't just a tummy tuck. It was full body.
Full up. He pulls the skin down. He pulls the skin up, restitches you.
Yes.
And then he did some like little contouring, some lipo. And then because my breasts, even though I had the reduction in my 20s, they were kind of deflated. So we went with the lift. And surprisingly enough, my mom was with me at this appointment and she kind of convinced me to do an implant, which I really hadn't thought of. So I ended up having implants put in. So honestly, it was a great experience. I don't even remember having a lot of pain with it, which I know people like bash me because I complain about the pain of the facelift. And they're like, well, you should try a tummy tuck and then you'll know. And I'm like, I had all that and I don't still feel like the pain was as bad.
Yeah. And, people have different thresholds for pain and they can take pain differently.
Right.
So what might be minor to you was someone's worst nightmare.
And vice versa.
Oh my goodness. Now let's talk about this viral face and neck lift that has taken social media by storm. When did you decide that you were going to get this face and neck lift?
I decided it honestly right after I had my body lift, but the doctor recommended I wait. And I know that nowadays everyone's saying, oh, you should do it when you're younger. But at the time, everyone's like, hold out as long as you can, because once you get one, you're probably going to need to have that redone every 10 years. So that was sort of my mentality, was like, I'm just going to hang on for dear life. I'm going to try different things.
How crazy? I just interviewed someone who was 34 and got a facelift all the way in Turkey, and that story is going viral. And now people are saying do it when you're younger and then you can have another small one. And back in the day, people were like, no, you need to wait till you're 70 to get a facelift. What's your take on this?
Oh, gosh, I don't know. It's not an easy surgery. Like knowing what I know now, like I might have even waited another few years. It is intense. It's definitely intense. And it's scary. Like a lot of women have reached out to me and shared some horror stories with me.
And it is scary. It is a big surgery. And that's why a lot of science is kind of showing today that if we get it younger, obviously sometimes it's safer to go under general anesthesia at a younger age. And when you're older, you're not going to have such a big lift that you're kind of just looking pooled and crazy when you have so much excess skin. Whereas when we're younger, we just have a subtle little, they call it the weekend lift or whatever. Yeah. And that's why more women and girls are doing it in their 30s, their 40s now. So your doctor tried to tell you to wait even longer?
Yeah. I waited another 8 years or so.
You waited 8 years?
Yeah. I honestly feel like so much has changed even in the last, 3 years?
Yes.
I feel like it's really just like the last 3 years. I think Ozempic and all the weight loss drugs has really kind of changed things too. I think so many people are losing weight. That was kind of a factor for me, honestly, too, was like I was starting to get worried prices are going to still keep going up. I could see the prices, and just even getting in, I was like, you know what, I'm going to jump ahead of some of these Ozempic people and I'm going to get my facelift right now. And also, it was funny, my best friend was also in the same place mentally, and we did ours a week apart.
Do you think, or do you wish that you would have gotten your facelift 8 years ago and not have listened to your doctor? Or do you feel like, you know what, no, this was the right time and the right place to get my facelift?
Because it was so intense, a part of me wished it makes me think I should have waited even a little bit longer. But I also feel like, I don't know, that's a tough one, really, to be honest with you. Because I do feel like I'm always going to want to keep this up.
Of course.
So I feel like, okay, I'm 53 having one. Supposedly they only last 7 to 10 years or whatever. So I feel like, well, I'm going to need another one. And then, who knows? Maybe I'll need 2 more.
No, not 2 facelifts.
I don't know.
And there's a lot of aesthetic treatments. And I did a post about this recently, how to maintain your facelift. Morpheus and lasers and peels, stuff that you can really do non-surgically to maintain your facelift. And also hydration and good moisturizer and collagen and all this stuff. Yes, you might need, depending on what your look is, what you want at the time, you might need one more little nip and tuck if that's what you decide.
Okay.
But you can definitely maintain it non-surgically.
Oh, okay.
To a great extent, you know?
I always figured I had to keep this. It was like breasts, like every so many years, I'd have to get a new one.
No.
So I was
of course, you might get some more skin elasticity as we all, mature. But definitely you can maintain it for a good while.
Okay. Well, that's good. Because I had done the Morpheus. Man, that was painful.
Yes.
That was literally the most painful thing. Part of the reason why I did choose it now was because I was spending thousands of dollars a year on Sculptra, which I do think was amazing, though. I had 3 rounds of Morpheus 8 on my neck. I did some lasers treatments and going in every 3 months for Botox and all of that. And I was like, in girl math, I was like, I have this facelift. I'm going to save myself all this money. Well, come to find out, no, I'm going to still be maintaining. I'm still going to be doing maybe not Morpheus 8 on my neck again.
How much money do you think that you wasted on treatments prior to your facelift?
I know.
Roundabout.
I'd say 8,000, 6. Yeah, it was a lot.
Roughly. Yeah. Treatments aren't cheap.
So that really was honestly me thinking I could keep doing these things, or I could just go in there and remove that skin. That's really the only way to remove it is surgery. So that's kind of a part of my decision too.
How did you go about researching your doctor? And then how many consultations did you go on before deciding which doctor was going to be your facial plastic surgeon?
I had been asking around also in my town, every time I'd see somebody or I'd go to my esthetician, I'd be like, who do you recommend? So I was always big on that. And probably because with my body lift, I did see someone, you know what I mean? I asked the person who I saw, where did you go? And I went to that consultation. I heard my surgeon's name 3 times. And I thought, okay, maybe it's meant to be. I went, I saw him. I felt good about our conversation. Good. And I just moved forward with it. Come to find out now, I really should have done a lot more research just to prepare myself for it.
Yeah.
And I've learned a lot. just, from the whole experience, to be honest.
Now, from when you booked the consultation, how long after did you get surgery?
I want to say it was about 2 or 3 months.
That is fairly quick. Most
is.
people get their consultation and have to wait, depending on how booked the doctor is and getting your lab work and all this extra stuff, at least a minimum of 6 months.
Well, my girlfriend was part of the issue because she wanted to plan her facelift and we wanted to do them together. So she only had like a certain window of time that besides other things she had going on. And so basically I was kind of like rushing with her because I'm like, oh, I want to do it with you. So I kind of sped up my process a little bit because of her, which is weird. But like, I thought, how cool is this if we could do it together?
Yeah. So that 8 weeks that you had from your consultation to your surgery, were you doing any research, anything on YouTube or using Reddit or Facebook groups?
See, I didn't know about the whole Facebook group thing, but I was looking at a lot of the websites, but I'm like a positive person.
Mm-hmm.
And my other surgeries went well. So I honestly feel like I went into it just honestly like everything's going to be great. My doctor said after 2 weeks, you'll be back on your feet. And I literally just went in almost naively, like positive about it. Really, I think most of the research I did was after, because then once it hit, like I'm going, oh my God, this is so different than what my mind had thought.
Yes.
I played it down to be something more like a Morpheus 8 treatment,
No, girl. Facelift and Morpheus 8 are two different ball games.
I mean, it woke me up, let me just tell you. And then I became the queen of research, or at least tried. And I honestly have learned so much from my community. Like literally, I'll just put any question. And I get nurses. I've had numerous plastic surgeons respond to my videos. They've stitched my videos and answered questions. Nurses, beauty brokers. Like I get all this information, and now I feel like I'm so much more educated.
Getting your neck and your facelift, what was the most difficult part during your recovery process, or what were the top 3 things that you were like, holy crap, like I should have been prepared, or I never want to experience this again?
The pain. I had drains, which the doctor said could or could not be there. And it was like the pressure around your ears and the wrap that I had, because I had the drains in, like I guess I had that tight wrap on for maybe 2 days, 3 days. And I couldn't get the pain under control. Like I normally am someone who doesn't take like they'll prescribe something and I'll take it for a day. I literally was like calling or texting him and he was like, okay, take 2 of the pain pills. And I was doing that. I literally couldn't even, I think I maybe got like a 2-hour block out of that first week of no pain.
Yeah.
And then he's like, add in Tylenol. So I was taking extra strength Tylenol.
Tylenol plus your prescribed pain medication.
Yeah, for a week. And finally, after a week, he said, well, you're far enough along now, you could take like Advil, Motrin. And once I took that, the pain went away. So I don't know if it was just my body and like what medication worked for me, but it literally, I was like, holy cow, overnight, it went away with the different medication.
So interesting.
Yeah. But also time and healing.
And you were not expecting that pain, huh?
No, because I don't remember anything about the body lift and the breast lift. So I'm thinking if I have either I'm blocked it out.
You blocked out the pain, and
I don't know if I blocked it out. So this is funny. My stepmom had a facelift. So I've been exposed to this. I feel like you have family members that have had procedures. You're kind of more open to it, I think. Yeah. I remember my stepsister complaining about how much pain my stepmom was in and how much complaining she made. But I always thought she was a whiner, like a complainer.
Oh.
I didn't take account to that because she was always a whiner about stuff. So, and then when it happened, I thought, oh my God, she was right. This is super painful.
Without the pain, were there any complications or reactions that you got post-op?
Yeah.
Tell us.
So I ended up getting, I think it was a seroma. I got a bump like in front of my ear. On my face, and I went in and he felt it and he's like, I think it's scar tissue. So I started massaging it, and then we decided to do like a hot compress. And all of a sudden it just started getting like engorged. My whole face got inflamed, and literally like I started my face I don't know if it was the swelling, but I started feeling like I was having problems breathing.
No. Do you think you were having an anxiety attack due to all the fluid building up?
I think so. And my husband, it was like the first time my husband and I got out, we went to a movie, and I'm texting with my doctor and he said, leave the movie, come to my office and I'll look at it and whatever.
He had to drain it.
Yeah. So we left. My husband's like, great. So we left the movie and went, luckily he was like 10 minutes away and he drained it. And once that was the main thing that was kind of freaky. And that didn't happen until like 3 weeks or so post-op. So I kind of thought I was clear.
Seromas, hematomas, they can pop up 3 days. They can pop up 3 weeks, like in your instance.
Yeah.
But it is so scary, especially on your face. And then you have to go to the surgeon's office and they have to lidocaine you, then stick a needle in there and drain you. Like, that's terrifying.
Yeah, it was scary. It really was. And I just thought I made it through, and then all of a sudden that happened. I'm like, oh, Yikes, that wasn't what I was expecting.
You have to be really vigilant and, assess yourself with whatever you get done and follow directions. You think you're in the clear 5 to 7 days out? No, like things can happen at 2, 3, 4 weeks post surgery. Anything can happen.
And I didn't know that. I didn't think that, I didn't know enough.
And a lot of women are the same way. They think like, okay, I made the 2-week mark.
Yes.
We're fine. I'm going to go live my life. And then something happens and you're like, oh, shit, wait.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it was.
But I'm glad he drained it and the swelling started to subside. The fluid came out and everything was well.
It was like instant
Good.
Yeah.
Good. I'm glad that was the only complication.
That and just the emotional part. It hit me. And I had heard about like post facelift depression kind of things. I didn't really understand, again, until you go through it. And even though you tell yourself this is going to be painful, it's very different when you're actually in it. When you're looking at yourself in the mirror. And also, I'm sort of, not the issue, but like I was putting myself out there. Like 5 days post-op, I'm sharing a video of my incisions, right? I looked like scary. Crazy scary. And, so people are like, you got botched and like all these negative comments.
Oh my God.
So like you start like, oh my God.
It starts getting to your mental health and you're like, wait, am I really botched? Wait, do I really look like this? I love when women are transparent with their surgery journey and they're leading the way for other women. And then we have these trolls that come onto your guys' page. They say some nasty things and then they just scroll away like it never happened.
Right.
And then it leaves that person in a poor mental headspace and almost not wanting to share their journey. And that's not fair. It's horrible and it's rude and it's mean. And I don't understand why people have to comment on other people when they altered something and they can't do, whether it looks good or whether it looks bad. Yeah. The choice is already made.
Exactly. It's a done deal. I've already done it. But
exactly.
What I have to say though is literally there was like 2 or 3 women that are like, they're my people. And they even told me, they said, don't worry about Dana. We're going to handle these people. Literally. And they would they would respond to these people and be, like that's rude, blah, blah,
and
blah.
Most of the time it's just people that are miserable with their lives. They're internet trolls that has never gone plastic surgery or that are probably jealous of how you look.
Well, what's hilarious too is when I would look in the beginning, I would look at their pages just to kind of like, who is this person? Right. And a lot of them would have these like, I love Jesus. They're like these Christian.
Dana, you're about to hit the hammer on the nail. It's always the people, their captions are like, has a Bible verse or living life with purpose.
Yes. It was. And I was like, oh my God. And so sometimes I would reply and just say, well, gosh, I don't know if Jesus would approve this comment or things like that. And then people were like, okay, Dana, we'll handle it for you. You don't need to lower yourself to these people. But I'm like, at times I was like, F you, dude, or
yes.
And men leaving comments. It's like, why are you on my 50-year-old plus women's page? Like, move on.
Exactly. And that's sadly what happens when a video goes viral. It hits the For You page. So it goes to people who want to see it and people who don't want to see it. Right. And that's when you get the hating comments. But hey, that hating comment got you from 400 followers to almost 18,000 in what, 4 months?
Yeah, it's crazy. I knew it was going to resonate. I just had no idea that it was going to hit this big. And I got an article in the Daily Mail. I got it posted on their website, an article on me. I mean, it's just like crazy things happening. Yeah.
When you started sharing the surgery journey and you started getting a little bit of the haters, it's hard. It's definitely hard. And did you kind of say like, okay, maybe I'm going to stop posting a little bit? Did it ever make you want to stop?
I want to say maybe a day or 2 over the whole experience where I was like a little bit more in my head about it and kind of like let it get to me a little bit. And then honestly, it's the women that all the positive too, that the negatives be overshadowed by the women that said, thank you so much for sharing this journey. Like, I can't wait to see your next update. And I thought, what? I'm helping people. So I'm not going to let the negative get to me. So,
and what were these negative comments even saying? What did they have to comment on? Or was it just nonsense?
Like, you should age gracefully. A lot of that. You're giving a bad example for people.
To who?
Yeah, that I should just let them grow with wrinkles and that I'm being like this vain person for having plastic surgery.
And those are the people that are growing with wrinkles and that hate their life.
Or
that's exactly what it is.
Sadly, too, are people that can't afford these procedures. And I feel bad about that, So it's like, well, some people say, yeah, it must be nice to be able to have that done, those kind of things, too. So I'm like,
if you want something bad enough, you will figure out the means, whether you have it, you don't, you're going to figure out. Like you want a pair of shoes. If you want them that bad, you're going to figure it out. Yeah. So they just didn't have the balls or the courage or whatever it is to figure it out. Because you had 70 years to figure it out.
Well, and I feel bad too when people are like, oh, well, watching your journey has chased me off. I'm never going to have a facelift. And I'm like, well, that's not my purpose. I'm not there to scare anybody off. Like, I just want to educate people. And like, again, I'm just one person. I'm like, when people say that stuff, I'm like, oh no, don't not consider this. Like you could have a totally different experience than me.
And no, it's good that influencers like yourself and people like me, we are showcasing the pros and the cons of plastic surgery. Because why are we just going to put all these, just the beautiful aspects and look at me and look at how great? No, you guys also need to see what really goes down, because this is what happens. And you need to make sure that you can tolerate this and you can go through this and handle it.
Well, what's really interesting too is I was talking to a woman who's a big time like social media person in the 50 plus beauty. And she had a lower facelift and neck lift done probably about a year and a half ago. And I followed her journey. And
I think I know who you're talking about, because I DM'd her a couple of weeks ago and I was like, I need to have you on the podcast, because you are the only two women that I have seen documenting their surgery journey and also giving beauty and wellness tips.
Yeah.
Does her name start with a P?
No.
Okay, we'll touch base after.
Yeah. Well, I talked to her and she said, just be prepared that you're going to get negativity, and she said that she also lost a bunch of followers because people were mad that she didn't stay natural. Isn't that interesting?
That's very interesting. But a majority of your followers right now that are coming in are people wanting to see your surgery journey. So I think you're going to attract more than you're going to lose, in my opinion. That's my theory.
Exactly. Yeah.
Do you think being 53, people are throwing shade towards you because you're documenting beauty and lifestyle and plastic surgery? Are you getting any of that?
Yeah. I mean, people just want to hate. People want to hate, I do. But then, it's interesting. Overall, though, I will say that definitely the positivity, the encouragement, the information that I've gotten is like way overshadowed the negativity.
You have built such an empowering community. And from your followers, what are they wanting to know the most? Like, what are you getting bugged about 20,000 times a day that you have to answer?
It's funny. I had this one woman who must have sent me 3 different messages. I want to see the stitches behind your ear. And I'm like, I'm not comfortable with that.
Jeez.
Like I'll share what I want to share. And I'm very, but I'm like, maybe I don't want to share the behind my ear.
Yeah.
But a lot of people just want to, a lot of what happened, I've noticed, is people have just had it. Okay. And they've been even following me for a few months and now they've had it. And then they'll start sending me messages or, saying, okay, I'm still bruised. Like, how long was it? So really they want to know like details, like how long was it before you felt better?
You got to let them know that you're sharing your own individual journey. They cannot compare their journey to yours. Everyone's is different. Yeah, they can view yours to see how your process went and if you have some good hacks and tips. But at the end of the day, your swelling might have only been 8 weeks and their swelling might be 12. Like, you never know. It depends on people's lifestyles prior to surgery and current health conditions as well.
Or a lot of people also did eyes. They get their eyes done. They get a CO2 laser. I didn't get any of that. So that
eyes and the CO2 laser, changed the ball game.
Yeah. So I was told that I didn't need that yet. And my doctor didn't do CO2. So, I just didn't have that done. I do actually get a lot of people that are like, what did you do with your eyes? Like they're accusing me of like hiding that I did some plastic surgery on my eyes. I'm like, no, guys, these are the originals. I haven't done anything yet.
You're already telling the truth about everything else. Why would you lie about such a minor procedure?
I get it. Like, okay, what about your eyes? I'm like, I didn't do the eyes.
Oh my goodness.
And I try to tell people that, like, this is what my story was. But like a lot of women say, I don't feel comfortable sharing this. Like only my husband knows. So there's a lot of women out there that are afraid to talk or embarrassed or don't want people to know. So like I become their friend. I'm like the one person they can message. And even in the comments in my videos, a lot of the women start talking to each other. They answer the questions before I even get there. Like, this happened for me. So I really think it's still sort of like a taboo topic. And so like they literally are reaching out.
And what advice would you get to those women who feel scared or maybe feel ashamed or just feel like we're in this old society where everyone's just going to think bad about them because they got plastic surgery?
I honestly just think it's where you live maybe and who you're around. I mean, some women are like, I would be judged so poorly, right?
I feel that breaks my heart.
And then there's other women that are like me or, just happy to share with anybody. Like I literally at times, I have an incision line on one side that comes out further than the other. And people make comments. I'm like, hey, I'm already sharing my story on social media. If someone sees a little like scar on my face, like it's not like I'm trying to hide it, right? It's just like, it's kind of funny where some women would be more mortified than me. Like I'm like, well, I guess if you figure it out, you figure it out.
I guess, it all goes down to, how you grew up and your parents and your friends and the shaming of changing what you want to change and
Right.
growing and evolving and having your own word and advocating for yourself. A lot
Mhm.
of women are suppressed still. And I hate to use that word or
Yeah.
term, but whether it's from their family, whether it's from their significant other, whether it's from their friends. And that makes me so sad. And I'm so glad that
No.
me and you have platforms to really say, like, hey, you know, it's okay.
And I will even admit that, like, I sort of had to, I felt like I had to justify a lot in the beginning too. And I would say, well, the reason why I did this is I lost 150 pounds and I had excess skin. Like, I had to do that a lot because I felt like
And we
people were
should-
judging me, you know,
And we shouldn't have to justify if we want to go dye our hair blue.
right.
We shouldn't have to justify, I wanted to dye my hair blue because X, Y, and Z. Like,
Right.
if you wanted to get something done, if you want just to get it done, just to get it done for the fun of it,
Yeah.
hey, that's on you.
It's true. But I will admit, like, I did sort of feel like, oh, but it's because I lost weight, you know, like, kind of thing. And then
Yeah,
I got
like
over
having to have an answer of
Yeah.
why you got it done, not just because you wanted to get it done.
Yeah. And then people will say, well, I saw your before pictures and you didn't even look that bad. It's like, okay, you know, like,
That,
you looked
like-
young before. Like, they're mad that I look.
I hate when people, you know, when I share other girls' journeys through the podcast
Mhm.
and I post a reel, and sometimes I'll include a before and after photo, I get comments, she didn't need that. She looked
Exactly.
great. It doesn't matter what you think, what
It's
she
what I think.
needed.
It's what I think.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. And
You're not the one
I would
looking at your
never-
face every day.
I would never comment under someone's post like you didn't eat that, or like, what does my opinion have to do with what you decided to do? It's mind blowing that people do not have self-awareness or have a
Mhm.
brain.
Yeah. So that happens too. And I'm just like, okay, sorry. Like, I don't know what to say to that.
And do you think that the stigma around surgery and aging is starting to shift, or do you think that we still have a long way to go?
I think it depends, again, where you live. I think,
Yeah,
sadly, I think there's parts of the country that are extremely different than California. But
100%.
I do think, well, at least on social media, I mean, the whole Kris Jenner, I mean, everyone is
Mhm.
talking. Ricky Lake just got something.
Yes.
It seems like it's everywhere right now. Everyone's finally talking about things.
We are in
And-
the era of plastic
Yes.
surgery transparency.
Exactly. So you're in the right place.
Yes, yes. Now we're looking ahead. Are there any other procedures you're considering, or is there something new that you're excited to try, or are you content for now?
Well, to be honest with you, I was debating about a revision because there is some laxity on my neck that I wasn't thrilled with. But the more I think about it, I'm just like, I don't think I want to do it. I don't. I actually did sign myself up for a CO2 laser treatment. I'm not
Oof,
doing
those
a
are so
crazy
good.
one. I'm not doing a crazy one. It's called the weekend
A
version.
mild.
But I thought that would help with some of the fine lines and some of the laxity. So I'm giving that a shot. And that would literally, I'd never even heard of CO2 until I started posting my journey, and people were telling me you have to try CO2.
Yes, it is so good. And most of the time, it is a little painful,
Spicy.
especially if you're awake. It's a little spicy. So most of the ladies decide to do it when they're getting their
Right.
facelifts. We usually do it when they're asleep on the table. And you can actually just get a really good CO2 and go a little bit harder than you
Yeah.
would if you were awake. And there's this crazy peeling, and you have to put on so many ointments during the day. It is such a pain, but the results are truly phenomenal.
Yeah. I went in.
And your
for
skin
open.
looks amazing. So I can't even imagine the results from the CO2. You're going to look like you're walking around with a filter.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, the lady, when I went in, they're like, we don't think you need like a full-on serious CO2. You would probably like the result.
Benefit from the mild
Yeah. And I
version.
was like, okay, I'll try. So I'm
Yeah.
trying that.
You definitely have to document that process because it will look so crazy at first, and your followers
Yes.
are going to be like, what in the world? But they'll see your results and like totally understand.
And the other thing I'm doing in 2 weeks or so, and this is also from social media, is I'm getting my brows microbladed. Is that how you say it?
Yes.
Because I got so many people that were like, you have what do they call it? Eyebrow blindness. And I'm like, rude. I do not have eyebrow blindness. I'm like, I know that they're a little short, or, it's like not as easy to fill in all the time. So enough women were
Eyebrow
like,
microblading
Yes.
is a game changer. I got mine like 8 years ago for the first
Wow.
time. And you have to, when it was first coming out, and everyone told me, no, you're going to have to stick to a style, blah, blah, blah. And mine like stopped at the ends. I'm so glad I got them done. I got them touched up obviously 2 times after. But I do want to get a saline soak and remove the old because I kind of want to try a new shape.
okay.
But I don't have a lot of downtime. So my friend Natasha, who does amazing eyebrows, she's like, just let me saline soak them and we'll give you like a different like version.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't have the downtime for that. But
know.
microblading is phenomenal. It saves you time. And when you do your makeup, you could just trace an outline so they're symmetrical.
Mhm. Oh, I'm so excited. I mean, I've
You'll
been
love
told
it.
I'm going to look crazy at first, though.
Yes.
Like, everyone's like, they said
They're going to look bold,
Yeah.
like they're Sharpied on,
Yeah.
and you're going to be like, what the hell? But once they peel and it comes off, it's going to look so great.
Yeah, so I'm excited about that. So that's happening. So I've got that in like 2 weeks, and then the CO2 in like a month. So I'm going. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to be the guinea pig
Yes.
for the 50 plus. I'm just going to keep keep trying things.
I love that. And what's next for you in content creation? Are you still going to keep on pursuing this surgery journey? Are you going to give anything else to the followers?
I honestly feel like I want to continue to share my journey. I really want to help educate other people about these things because I've learned so much. I feel like I want to continue that, but eventually I can also share my other procedures and just other, maybe, I hate the term too, mature beauty. I hate that. Like, mature.
But it is a thing. We all get there.
Yeah,
so
I know. I'm telling you, when you get my age, you'll know what I mean.
I know. But see, I'm taking tips from you. You look fantastic. So I'm like, whatever Dana is doing in her 50s is what I want to do.
Yes. Yeah. So just sharing kind of my mature beauty type things like I did before. But I think what I really learned from this is just how authentic, being my really authentic self is what has resonated, right?
Yes.
Not trying to be something trying to fill a role or look like someone else or whatever. Like, I think if I just am authentically me, I've got a good community of women and I'm just like trying to, see what resonates with them as well.
I love that they can definitely listen to this podcast and kind of dive more into your story and hopefully answer some questions that you have to give them all the time.
Yes. I don't mind though.
What's one thing you wish more women knew about getting more mature or beauty or taking ownership of how they age?
I guess I would say it's honestly, you become more free and you don't give as much of a shit when you get older.
Yeah.
It's sort of like a confidence that you get where you start to not care so much what everyone else thinks. And I feel like it's not bad. Like it's, your body might not look the way it used to, but I feel like I think a lot of people my age, like I, of course, got married really late, right? At 49. So I'm just like, I'm raising a teenager right now. But like a lot of my friends, kids are just graduating from high school or college. There are a lot of women my age are almost like at a point of reinvention, right?
Yes.
They're starting a new phase. They can focus on themselves and,
yes.
So it's more of like, what do you want to do? Like it is kind of like a new start for a lot of us.
I think literally a good niche for you would be like restarting or starting life in your fees. And that's, create content creation. They say you kind of need to have a series, right? Yes. A series takes you a long way. It keeps people wanting to come back for more.
Yep.
I think a great series for you would literally be restarting my life in my 50s.
Okay.
Take them on the journey of your CO2. Take them on the journey of lip filler. Take them on the journey of, hey, the trend is microblading. I never thought I would do it. Come reinvent with me. Yeah. And I think that will draw in such a bigger crowd and like give people, oh my God, Dana's doing this at 50. Maybe I'll take the small step and go get my eyebrows. They might not go get a full facelift, but they might do their lips and their eyebrows. And that might give them a nice confidence boost.
For sure.
You never know.
I honestly feel like my life has changed so much in the last 10 years. I mean, I was, a single girl my whole life. And then now I'm like this married wife. I sometimes look at my life and go, is this real? Like, it feels so different. And I've posted videos about that. If you feel like you've never had love, like I didn't find love until I was like 47.
And that's another series that why you decided to get married at 49. And to some people that might be late. And to some people that might be perfect timing. It's just our different journeys. And I love that. I would love to even hear that, like your take on it. Because, I got married younger. And so it's fascinating. And I think you can definitely resonate with people.
I tell my friends, I feel like I'm on the opposite. Like they're all like becoming empty nesters and I'm like settling down, like our lives, but we're all in like this transformational place. Like we're all, at a
different
new place.
Journeys. Yeah. New different journeys.
Yeah.
And I love that. And it's like you're going forward, but you're also going backwards.
Yes.
If that makes sense. And that's such a crazy journey. And that's why you stand out and you're going viral. That's exactly what it is.
I'll take any of your suggestions, but I think I honestly just love connecting. And as much as I can feel like I'm resonating and people are getting something from sharing my life, like it's worth it. And it's fun.
How many followers do you have on TikTok?
TikTok, I think I'm at like 6,000 something. Okay. What's interesting is that I had really focused there. And so I've maybe gained 1,000 or 2,000 on TikTok, but it was Instagram that was like crazy. So
with brand deals, Instagram is a little bit more important. That's where you want to be. A lot of people are coming up on TikTok and getting monetized. Great. But at the end of the day, TikTok is fun. It's fast. People are just swiping through. Where Instagram, when people follow you there, it's really because they want to see your journey. They're invested. And brands care more about the Instagram numbers than the TikTok numbers.
They do. I just have had my first paid video. I'm getting PR in the mail. I'm getting paid.
That is so phenomenal. Your first brand deal. Did you already drop it or is this something that's coming up?
No, I dropped it.
Tell us about your first brand deal.
Well, I got paid for my video and I'm getting, commission and it's a red light therapy mask that I have already owned and used. It's from Jobs, and they have this 4D laser light mask. And literally, it's
yes.
the only mask I've ever really noticed a difference in. And so when they reached out to me, I'm like, shut up, right? I'm like, this is like what I already use. So like,
and that's a brand that Kim Kardashian just promoted a couple months ago, right?
Yeah.
Is it a brown mask that kind of hooks on?
Yes.
Yes, Kim Kardashian. It was not a paid post. She literally posted on her Instagram and I was like, I love this mask.
It's
and
great.
Now they're reaching out. They've already reached out to you and had you post for them.
Yeah. And they reached out to me about another product. It's one thing about me. If I don't really use it and believe in it, I'm not selling it. I also have a pillow company that sent me a pillow and I literally sleep with it every night. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll talk about this because I love this pillow.
Of course.
It's great for post-op.
You're at 17,000 followers. It's not like you're at 1 million yet and you're already getting brand deals. So that's phenomenal.
Well, I will tell you, I think brands are finally figuring out that my demographic has a lot more disposable income.
100%.
And people are spending money. And so I think they're coming
around.
Not
the 20 and 30 year olds. No. It's the 40, 50s and 60s. They got the big money, to be fair. And facelifts are almost the most priciest cosmetic surgery. They can run anywhere from $25,000 all the way to $1,000, depending on where you go. And most people who are getting a facelift, they do have extra money to spend. That is the truth. Well, thank you, Dana, for being so transparent and sharing your surgery journey and everything that you have done. Honestly, I'm so happy that you're doing it, and to see someone in their 50s doing content creation, I love that. Each story that we do, and especially yours, we hope that people listen and take something away from it, and hopefully that they have a safe and healthy recovery journey. So if you guys want to check out Dana's page, we will definitely be collabing and tagging her, so you can head on over, see her facelift journey, see her beauty hacks, and all her wonderful content. If you have any questions for her that we didn't answer here, you can head on over there as well. And other than that, we will talk to you guys next week. Bye.